In the previous video, I did a walkthrough in this environment, and everything you see in here is generated with PCG. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make it. So for the first step, we're going to see how to make the landscape material, because in the landscape material, you can use noise to procedurally generate different areas like these areas right here, and cliffs like over there. And then we can assign physical materials to these areas. And then these physical materials will tell the PCG what to generate on each area. Now that everything is removed, let's take a look inside the landscape material. So I do have substrate enabled, but I'm not using substrate. This just bypasses substrate. But if we start from the beginning, so this is the noise that blend between these two areas, and this controls the size of the white area of the noise. So let's take a look at that. If I increase this, the white area will become larger. And if I decrease it, the white area will become smaller. Here I'm using world aligned blend to blend between the cliffs and the flat area. So let's take a look at that. Now for the tree area, I'm just multiplying the cliff mask to the noise mask. And I'm using lerb and a clamp to give it more contrast. And then for the rock area, I'm inverting this mask, clamp it, and then multiply it again to the cliffs. So let's take a look. Okay, so this just invert the mask while keeping the cliffs in black. And the last thing is the cliffs. And let's make the cliffs in white and everything else in black. Now, the landscape physical material output is what allows us to assign different physical materials to various parts of the landscape. So I've already created 3 physical materials, one for trees, one for rocks, one for cliffs. And I've assigned the masks that we just saw to each one. So, for example, we have the cliff mask on, and wherever it is white, the cliff physical material will be assigned to that area. So now we are back with the PCG, and this is the graph that generates everything in here. So I just want to explain parts of it. So this is the line that generates trees, and in the get landscape data node, we can choose to get physical material. So if we inspect and debug this node, we can see that each point have physical material attribute. So each point have different physical material. And this is useful because from here we can say, let's use attribute filter. And the physical material is tagged as last attribute, so we can keep this at last. And we say matches, and we use constant threshold, and we choose soft object path. Now we can choose the tree's physical material. So now all the points that has tree's physical material will be filtered. And this is what we have in this node right here. So if we press Alt D and then D, we can see that we only have the points that are inside this area. Okay, so next we can see that there is some points that are inside frogs. That means there will be some trees spawning on top of the rock. And we don't want that, so we use the difference node next. And the difference node will remove any points from the source that intersect with the points in the bound modifier node. So for example, this point will be gone. Let's take a look at the output of the difference node. And as you can see, the point is gone. So next we have the grid node, and this node will just have a number of points that we can use with the copy points, so that these points will be copied to each point in this node. So what this will do is it will spawn things beside each tree. So each tree, right here for example, will have things like leaves and smaller plants like these spawning beside it. And yeah, this is what we're doing right here. So the last thing we have is these star rocks. And these star rocks are actually spawned right here, and they are blueprints. So let's take a look at them. So these are the blueprints. And let's add one right here. And then you can right click these blueprints, hit edit, and you can see that they are made up of a number of meshes. So you can edit them and then spawn them together using the spawn actor node.